Hello everyone at the Astroflower, welcome to your energy update. We're going to be going into seeing the sun, seeing what happened with that solar flare earlier on this week. Also, we're going to be getting message from the Earth, the chakra sequencing, and also measuring the energy lines that's coming, that go across the northern hemisphere, and see the dramatic changes after the equinox. Quite amazing that is, really. We'll also be going into seeing how that solar flare that came off earlier on this week explains to us or helps us to understand how our chakras work. And this is a great example of how it is all connected. So without further ado, let's just get into the sun.
Don't believe, just know. Cymatic TV, turning vibration into reality.
As you can see here, this is the sun from the past week. We've got the bright sections here. They are what is called sunspots. And then you've got these lovely filament energies that's going around there. You do actually have some coronal holes as well, but it's mainly sort of filament energies that have been offering up the energy to the Earth and obviously to us. But just look at this element here that goes all the way around like that, goes into a curve and into a vortex, and we, after that vortex, at the base of that vortex, we can see the solar flare that's actually happening. The other thing you should notice as well is how these ribbons actually go round the sun as it's going around. Here you can see that sort of spiraling filament there, and then just below there, just there, was that sunspot. So what has been going on with the sun at the moment, it's pretty much what I was sort of saying the other day. So here we have the KP index and the X-ray flux, which is just next to me over there, as you can see it. On the top is the KP index, is the X-ray flux, and then the bottom is the KP index. Now the KP index is, if you like, it's like the magnetic field of the Earth. It's the sort of thing, it's like comparing it to the aura, or your aura. And when the wind comes through, when the prana energy or the ki energy or the chi energy comes through from the sun, it will, it can disturb that aura, and it can create things like tropical storms or hurricanes, as what we're seeing at the moment, but within regards to the magnetic field of the Earth. And then obviously then that filters through the Earth and through to us as well. But as we can see here, just on this section here, the KP index, that has been very low, and I think that's going to be very low for the next 2 or 3 weeks, right up through to the mid October. We may get a few M flares or X flares and stuff like that, but I don't think there's anything going to be majorly directed in the direction of the Earth. So I think we're going to come through that all right. It's going to kick up again in October, as I said, pretty much like it was kicking up in May and June earlier on this year, and that will create that double spike solar cycle that we should be going into. But on the KP index, which is just above here, which is on this section here, you can see all week there's been absolutely nothing leading up to the beginning part of this week here, and then we had an M flare, two M flares that was, it's going to always miss Earth. The position it was in, and the speed in which it came off, and from the calm it came off, and we will be able to see that as well in the next sort of section of the video. But it's just to sort of say that there's it's a really good time to sort of understand how the energies work, how the chakras work, which is really important as well, with this coming and going of energies between the sun and the Earth, and also between the Earth and ourselves. And this is the same system, regardless of whether you're looking at the sun or whether you're looking at our own chakras. It's the same sort of system. So let's just see how that energy was coming off from the sun, and seeing if it really is going to hit the Earth. Here we have the Enral spiral here that we can see below. We can see in this section here. Let me just get that playing for you. As you can well see, there's that M flare that comes off, and you can see it coming off on the sun. There's the sun, there's the Earth, as it were. Sorry, and as the eruption comes off, you can see it coming off the sun here, and as it comes off, it goes off behind the Earth. And the other thing you can see as well is on this section here, it goes off more to the south of the Earth. And this is why I don't think there's going to be major disturbing sort of energies sort of coming our way over the next few days. It will probably be just going through as you're watching this video, actually. And you may not notice a great deal. The thing is with that type of energy is that one thing we should really understand is when it's sort of vaguely missing the Earth, you get this sort of vibration that sort of comes past the magnetic field of the Earth. It doesn't quite hit it full on, but what it does create is a lot of static electricity between the two. And this is exactly how chakras work. So basically, if you imagine you've got your solar plexus and it's made up of several petals, this is the sort of thing I teach on my workshops. There will be a workshop coming out in November in France. If you want to be part of that, there will be an email linked in the description below. Send us an email and I'll send you the details. But if you imagine the energy that's coming out from the sun towards the Earth, and the Earth is putting out its energy, as they go past each other, that's what creates that static electricity between the two energies. And with that sort of static electricity, you might find that there's certain problems with your telephone, electrical goods and so forth. But it's not going to do major health problems as far as I can tell. There may be a little bit with sort of mental health and stuff like that. And you may well see spikes of anger and frustration within the world that is around you. Just notice it and observe how the energy works. It will put you in a much better stead as you go into the future, and you can engage with energy. And when you know it's coming and you know what it's all about, that's when you can start creating stuff. So let's get on to see what actually the eruption was all about. Here is the eruption here that we can see on the sun. Let me just sort of find that video. There it is. Okay, so this is the eruption here. You can see here it's come off this sort of sunspot that was down on the southeast section there, and you can see it's also coming out on one side. Now this is another great example about chakras. When you've got chakras working, you get different petals firing off different energies at different times. And how does this work? Well, you get that notion of on the petal, you get energy going out to the perimeter of the chakra, and then it comes back. And this flowing energy, as it goes past each other, creates that electrical discharge that we can see within the aura and the magnetic field of human beings, which this is what I do my healing about. And sometimes that can be put under pressure. And when it's put under pressure, that coming together of those two energies, as they go past each other, create a short circuit, which creates an explosion or an eruption within your own energy. And that's when you start playing with your sort of solar plexus and you start pushing a certain aspect of the solar plexus. So and that's, the solar plexus is made up of multitudes of different petals, and each petal has its own sort of role to play, as it were. And we can see this within the sun because you've got that eruption that's slightly off to this section here. It's just slightly in the front, and that's all to do with the magnetic sort of field of it all. And as you can see, as it comes off here, and let me just sort of play it through for you. As it sort of comes off, you can see where you get this heliospheric sort of scenario going on. Let me just play that through so you can see it coming off. It comes off here, and it comes off on a heliospheric. It's going incredibly quick from the sun, but it comes off in like a heliospheric sort of scenario as it comes off the sun. And that's what the chakras are all about as well. It's about sort of like how it's sort of, the chakras are spiraling energies that's going out from us, as it were. Now, let me just see if I can pull that up on a much better way. There it is there. I want to stop it right on it. And it's difficult to do it with the mouse and that. Let me just, there you go. And you can see here this heliospheric sort of angle to it. And this is why we get chakras spinning in a certain way and what have you, because there is a heliocentric force to the energy as it goes out and a heliocentric force as it comes in. And when they connect, they do create that heliospheric sort of discharge within your aura. And this then creates certain colors within your aura. And your aura is constantly changing. One of the big questions I get when people come and see me for healings is, what is the color of my aura? And it's constantly changing. It doesn't stop changing. So it's never one color. It's just not the way it goes. It's not like a rainbow thing either. That's just a little bit of Walt Disney ideas of how things work, or Wikipedia way of things work. It's more like, for me, it's like sort of getting a paintbrush and like dipping it into water, and you get these plumes of clouds of colors that goes through the person, and it's quite interesting to sort of see, and it can correspond with sort of also future illnesses, mood swings, emotional states, and it's also sort of things with telling the truth and telling lying and stuff like that. So you can often tell what's going through the person when you're looking at that person's aura. But this is all to do with the magnetic field of the sun. And we can see this magnetic field of how it actually works on the sun. So let's just have a quick look at that. If you can see here, as it goes forward, what you're looking at is this section here. You're really looking around here in this section here, this light blue green section that comes round this red spot. As it comes forward, and this is where the energy is tightening together, because the whole sunspot is this whole area there. It's that whole area there, but this is like one petal on that sunspot. And as we go forward and go backwards, you can see the advancing energies are there. You can see it there. It just advances, and that what puts the pressure on the negative and positive energies within the sunspot, which creates that short circuit and that diffuse of energy that goes. And it's exactly the same thing that happens in you and I. I also think we should be very conscious of the sort of size and impact that this energy can do. So here is an image that I took off Helio Viewer. If you haven't seen Helio Viewer, it's a very good website, HELIO Viewer, VIER. If you go on the internet, you'll be able to find it, and you can get movies and images of the sun. And you can see, look at the size of the Earth. Look at the size of that magnetic, sort of like that eruption there as it goes into it. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, how does that play out onto the energy that is going through the Earth? Because obviously the Earth will interpret that energy, but it will also influence the energy that is within us. So let's just take one other look into what we could see is in in the earthquake section. Let's just have a look at it here, and I've got the my chakra map, which is just above it. So here we got the solar plexus down in Australia. You got the third eye and the throat chakra up at Mount Fuji. You've got the crown chakra over at Mount Kailash. You got the heart chakra over at St. Michael's Mount. You got the root chakra down in Lac Salida, down in Bolivia. Is it Bolivia or Peru? Yes, it's down there. And then up in the in Northern California in Mount Shasta, you get the sacrum energy. But look what's been going on the Earth. We've been mainly having earthquakes down around the solar plexus. And this is exactly what seems to be coming out with this sort of energy. It is very much a type of energy to get on and do, because the energy is calm. It allows us to progress slowly but surely towards our aims and our goals in life. So use this energy wisely over the next sort of 2 or 3 weeks. Obviously, we will be doing more energy updates, and obviously on the weekly readings on the Astroflower, where we go through each sign. Earth signs on Thursday night, water signs on Friday, fire signs on Saturday, and air signs on Sunday. We will be going into this and seeing how it affects your your elements within you, and it will help you to the best of how you orientate your energy or your efforts or your emotions or your physical being into what aspect of your life. So we can see that, and this is the other big change as well, is to do with the equinox. As we saw with the equinox, and you'll be able to see with the messages from the earth and the chakra sequencings, which will be coming just up after this, and also the energy line. During this period here, you get a lot more earthquakes that are happening in the southern hemisphere. There will be a few on the northern hemisphere up there, but it's mainly happening on the southern hemisphere because the energy in the northern hemisphere is reduced down to its minimum amount, and the southern hemisphere energy is on the energy lines is moving up by a third, and it's just coming up to its full power. So it'll be coming up to its full power on the summer solstice, which you will have in the 21st of December, coming up in 3 months. So yes, there you go. That's your energy update for that respect. We will be going, let me just take you over to the outside onto the ley lines and the energy lines to get the message from the earth, the chakra sequencing, and the dowsing of the energy line. For the equinox, it's coming into around about here, to this sort of second pillar here, or this third pillar here. Let's just see what's going on with it now after the equinox has come through. Look at that. Nothing going on yet. And already, there we go, it kicks in there. 1, 2, 4. And it kicks out there, when normally it would be kicking out around about there. So as you well saw there with the dowsing rods, the lines just drop right back out after the equinox. You can go back and see the energy of the other energy updates, and you'll see how wide the line is. And this is just systematic. It's normal, you know, in the northern hemisphere. It's during the autumn period of the earth. In the northern hemisphere, it will go to its lowest level, and then at the solstice, in the winter solstice, it will double in size. So it goes from that 12 to 24 to 36 to 48, basically. That's what it does. You know, waiting till the 21st of December, so we can get the new width on the line, and you'll be able to see it. In the southern hemisphere, your lines would have gone up by like a half in a way. So if it's 12, it would have gone up by 12. But because you're going into your spring period, you've already, through your winter period, it's already doubled. So it would have went from 12 to 24, and this time, and at the moment, it should now be at 36. Okay, so that's how the energy ebbs and flows through the earth. It ebbs and flows exactly through us. We have that same rhythm within us. And yes, there is a certain rhythm that's tied to the earth, but the rhythm is more than anything else. It's tied to your birthday. Okay, so, you know, that's the way the energy goes. So the 3 months before your birthday is your lowest energy levels you will have. It's not really lowest energy levels, you have the same amount, it's just a question of the speed it's going through you more than anything else. So you've seen with the sun, absolutely nothing going on. So let's just, what we're going to do is we're going to get into a meditation now and pick up the energies of the earth. They're sitting on the line at the moment, and get the message from the earth and the chakra sequencing. So here we are, just connecting down now, getting everything into line. Do need to put my dowsing rods there. Go. Okay, so let's start out with the chakra sequencing. Just getting our energy into tune with the line. There you go, there's the first connection there. We go to the crown and the root exactly at the same time, which is really good for vertical energy. And this ties into all about the sun being relaxed. We got a little bit on the throat chakra now, throat and third eye, with a little bit on the sacrum, but behind the sacrum more than anything else. And then the solar plexus is starting to kick in. Get the root a lot more abundant. I've got to say, the heart chakra doesn't seem to be around and about. There is a bit of heart chakra, but it's very relaxed, low on excitement, more on. It's got a more sort of anxiety feel to it, to be honest, than anything else. Okay, and I've got the original point again. It's quite slow actually. Sometimes there's a long transition between one chakra and another. Okay, let's just get into the message from the earth, connecting to the line, following the line down, just going down to the crossing point of the church, into the crossing point, down into the vortex, down into the center of the earth. Oh, it's very white in the southern hemisphere of the sphere in the middle of the earth. The plasma ball in the middle of the earth. A lot more sort of yellowy at the top, but it's building up to something. It's building up a real momentum of energy. You know, real blinding, really light, very white, pure, intense energy. And it's building that, I think. I think it's sorting the transition between the northern and southern hemispheres energies. So let's just get on to, I just want to get a message from the earth. Don't look around you, just look at your own hands. It's, the sort of messaging I'm getting here is like the sun or the earth is very occupied at the moment. It's concentrating on its own path, and it's asking us to do the same sort of thing. And the energies that came out of the readings, the tarot readings as well this week, were very much along the lines of personal engagement. It's very adamant about it, and I'm sort of saying to the earth, is there anything more that comes from it? And the earth is sort of saying, no, just concentrate on where you're putting your feet at the moment as an individual, as a person. What are you doing in life? How you engage with your life, not necessarily worrying about the bigger picture in the human species, as it were. Let me just sort of get back onto that. There's the vortex coming through, going back up the vortex, up through the church, and coming back down the line and into the body. Excellent. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. I've been talking about this on the energy update before, and when the sun goes down to a lower, consistent sort of energy, it's really nice. It's very good. It can help enormously for being creative. But when things still around us as individuals, we tend to look at what we are doing, rather than the stillness that is around us in the energy field. So we become much more conscious about how we're applying our energy to the world. Very much more conscious about how we introduce our energies into our manifestation, into our plan, into building plans or building projects and doing things. Now, there is a negative side to this as well, that for some of us, if you're not on a plan, if you're not working on your path, you may start feeling anxiety, trepidation, just a restlessness as well, more than anything else that goes through you. And if you're feeling that, that's where you should be sort of like doing a tea meditation, where you're sort of conscious about the things that you need to do and the things that you want to do in the daytime, so you get some sort of structure going on in your life. Once you get that structure going on in your life, it's much easier for you to just follow it through, and that's when you can really start using your energy. And what you do is, and then you sort of observe all the beautiful things around you, so colors, shapes, sounds, temperatures, all of those sort of things around you, all of the senses around you, and just notice what's really good for you. And then you finish off with the soap bubble that goes down your back and goes down to your toes and pops at the end of your feet. I will be doing videos on meditations in the near future, but at the moment, we'll leave it at that. But it's good to sort of reposition yourself on a morningly basis. Every morning, just take 5 minutes to reposition yourself according to what's going on in life, and that will help you to stop anxiety, overthinking. It would also help you with tiredness and lots of other things. And once you engage in this energy, this becomes a really good moment of trying to create the possibilities within your life. Okay, so there you go. That's the energy update. The funny thing is, I'm going to go back to that heart thing on the chakras as well, and that's possibly what the heart is all about, that creates that little bit of anxiety, because it's not about heart's desires here. It's about fundamental desires, which will produce your heart's desires. If my fundamental desire is that I am hungry, and my heart's desire is to eat a sort of veggie burger, whatever it is, and so recognizing that I'm hungry, then I can then choose my heart's desire. And that's where you can start pushing things and help yourself to create and manifest the pathway that you should be living, and exploring life in the way you feel that you should be living. Okay. Yes, I will speak to you soon. I will be doing some more videos that are coming out this week as well about the energies and what have you. If not, I will see you over at the readings. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.